Okay, so this video is a review of how to run correlations in JASP. We use correlations to check the reliability of our measurement scale, and we use correlations as a way to examine whether two variables are related to one another. So the data set that we used, I'll open it here. To open a data set in JASP, you just click on this three-line menu on the left, go to Open, and you can pull it from your computer, although I think it's in my recent files. It is. So the data set that we used for the correlation example was the alcohol expectancies. So I'll pull that up. And this is what it should look like once you open it. To be able to open a dataset in JASP, it needs to be saved in a CSV file. So it cannot be saved in an XLS format, which is the typical Excel format. It has to be saved in a comma delimited file, which is abbreviated as CSV. So if it's saved as a CSV file somewhere on your desktop or on the cloud, then you should be able to open it in JASP. So the first thing we want to do is look at our data set. So this first column is all of our participants with their ID numbers. We can scroll down and see we have 448, it looks like. And then we can look at all of our scales in each of these columns. So PM stands for per month. So this first one was the question as to how much per month the participants frequently drink. This one was how much per month they started to feel high when they drank, how much per month they got drunk, and how much they drank more than 5 or more drinks. So each of these separate measures, we can get an average of them to identify a frequency of drinking for that participant. So I believe it was on a scale of 1 to 7 for each of these items. So these numbers here in each of these cells are how the participants responded to each of these questions. So this is participant 1. They answered on a scale from 1 to 7 that they drank around 2, 0, 0, and 0. So each of these are separate questions that we asked our participants. And then what I already did for you in the file that you downloaded is I created an average score for that. So over here, this PM AVGD, that's just per month average drinking. So this is just the average of those 4 items for each of that each participant. And then our alcohol expectancy items, we had 10 questions that participants answered pertaining to their expectancies of drinking alcohol. So whether or not that they perceived that they would have positive expectations of the result of drinking. These were asked on a scale of 1 to 5, with higher values indicating more positive expectations of drinking. So again, each of these columns here represent a participant. So participant 2, on average, it looks like they were responding around 2 or 3 to each of these items. And so again, I took the average already for you and created its own column. So this ALCEXP is alcohol expectancies. So this is the average alcohol expectancy. So yeah, participant 2 is about 2.5 out of a scale from 1 to 5. So our overall goal here is to see whether there is a correlation between the frequency in which a person drinks and their alcohol expectancies. Because social cognitive theory suggests that the more positive expectancies someone has about something, the more likely they are to attribute that behavior or to do that behavior. So seemingly, we would expect that if a participant has a higher or more positive expectation of drinking alcohol, so if these values are higher, then that they should also have a higher behavior of drinking alcohol. So that'll be the final step in this process. But first, we want to make sure that our measurements are reliable.